on the bus, in front of everybody on the bus that all think we stupid as hell anyway, about me having opposition to the white man giving us the privilege to study our history when I was trying to tell him no. See, that is not a privilege that he has the privilege of giving to us. That is our birthright, that he can get his ass out of the position of thinking he is going to meter to me only in February. Fuck you. And the stupid ass that was on the bus with me that day trying to get me to argue with you, if your ass haven't grown since then, fuck you too. You're probably at West Angeles. And I'm not going to say that to the whole congregation, but know the heart is a powerful tool.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, because I was at the, I'm not going to say where I was, but I do know some Muslims who practice Orthodox Islam, and I was at a conference that they were holding, and I heard one kind of arguing with another one over what the Prophet Muhammad said 2,000 years ago, or not even 2,000 years ago, what the Prophet Muhammad said about marrying non-Muslims. And they were having a debate over should Muslims marry non-Muslims. I'm sitting here, I'm sitting back, I said, you're up here arguing over something that an eponymous person said, a person who never historically existed, said that if you study history, you see that even because Prophet Muhammad is supposed to be of the bloodline of Ishmael, if I remember correctly. Correct. So
Ishmael is the son of Abraham.
Abraham.
Exactly, son of Abraham.
But see, I'm going to tell you guys something. The reason why I never studied the Quran or the Bible too much is I'm going to tell you why. I watched people as I grew up. Now, my father was a Muslim. Believe it or not, I swear to you guys, this is the truth. I used to see him flying around with a turban tied around his head. And my mom was a Christian. Imagine that. I thought it was really weird. Even though I was 5 and 6 years old, my ass knew that there was some... You know why? Because the TV was on. And I could see what they was talking about on TV. Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, all the stuff that was going on, I remember seeing it on television. I didn't see no Christian shows on our TV because my father was practicing Islam. I'm talking about rag wrapped around his head and everything. But my mother was dragging me to church. And I was seeing the white man on the cross when I was a baby. Just very impressionable young man growing up in the streets of Detroit. Now listen to this. I'm in Detroit of all things with the chaotic circumstances around me of civil rights movement, Vietnam War, and then here's the religion war between the Christians and the Muslims that's interacted daily inside of my home where I live at. There's a lot of circumstances of abuse and alcoholism and all the things that I grew up that I could become a person who found it necessary to perpetuate that type of behavior. But you know what? Not me. There's no one who could say I ever child abused any of my children. And along with that, I am no longer drinking alcohol. And I owe that to the fact that I came in touch with Elijah Muhammad's book one day, and I read it. And it pointed out to me my circumstances in America. And it came from the Muslims that I had got introduced to by my father. And then I read other books by Christian authors that I don't remember. But I did read their book, one of them being the Bible, which I think destroyed me more than any book I've ever read. But I did read it under the Christian title, category of religion, along with other books from religion. I think the lady name is Joyce Meyer. Read a lot of her books. Read, believe it or not, Dianetics. Read that. I did. So people think Scientology is white man brainwashed evilness? Yes, it is. Can you learn from it? Yes, you can. It's good to know what type of dagger your enemy is going to stab your ass with. So, therefore, if your ass can pick up anything and read it, you should. Including the Bible that I read 3 times and used it to understand why I could not have use for it anymore. It just was real plain to understand that this book will destroy my conceptualization of my God self. And it does such a good job that I believe that's was its sole purpose of design. And I tried to prove that I was wrong, but I always ended up proving that I was correct. That right there showed me that I did not need to find my spirituality in any books, because all the people who was finding spirituality in books were at war with self and others. Drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, fornicating, and sex, and condoms everywhere, and just filthy decadence all around my young, impressionable mind as I was a child, flourishing to become an adult in this religious chalked world. Go figure.
But when you study history, these are eternalist people. These people never historically existed.
When you study, use this term, Michael, when you study human history.
Human history, okay.
Right.
Okay, human history, okay. When you study human history, these people never historically existed. So what are we arguing over? What are we fighting over? These are just things that divide us.
We're fighting over belief.
Mm-hmm.
See, he said it. These are things that divide us. The whole Christian religion. Look what you got. You got Judaism, which is a part of that. I don't care what nobody say. You got Baptists. You got Methodists. You got freaking Seventh-day Adventists. Jehovah's Witness. You got what did I say? Lutheran. What about you got Lutheran, Baptist, Methodist, Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witness, Jesus only. It's so many. It is so many. Latter-day Saints. Oh man. All these religious separation devices of one supposed to be faith. And then they all point their finger at each other. Okay? And say that they not right, they not right. But they all have the same white God. But the fact that they have small dissension causing fractions of so what between them make them all look at each other with suspicion and separatism. But one of the main rules of their own religion is to be charitable and loving and considerate and all that. And we're not. We are at constant war all over the planet. Muslims against Christians. And like Walter Wayne pointed out to me when I was talking to him, you get to the bottom of them, they was all made by Europeans. You keep on searching, they was all made by the same Jews. All of them. It's perfectly clear that all those religions are man-made religions, has nothing to do with the sun, has nothing to do with us Egyptian people. Us ancient Egyptians, us Kemetic people, had nothing to do with any of those. They were all launched from our true teachings that come from our philosophical understandings of our universe and how she works under the title of Sheta Neter. Is what we can all trace our sole existence as God and goddesses of this planet as being our unique understanding of how our universe works. Everything else is just a tool to keep us divided and amongst dissension with each other.
They're fighting over their personal belief. They believe it.
Yes.
And when you believe something, it becomes alive in your life. They ask you, do you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ? And you say yes. That means that you believe that white image on that cross is a Savior, and so forth and so on. Everything is attached to it. You believe that that white image becomes real in your life. It's super important. That's right. You believe that if you believe that whatever you believe, Michael, becomes real in your life. And when somebody come along and say, well, hey, brother, that never, that's mythology, and you want to get mad, you want to fight the person, curse them out, and all that other kind
hate
of
them.
stuff.
Won't speak to them.
So,
Send your dumb ass up. Won't speak to somebody because I'm coming to you trying to say, we need to get away from worshiping the image of other people as our God. That's the reason why we don't have anything, and they have everything, because we give everything to them. When we find the need to go worship them as our God, they demand money from us, and our dumb asses give it to them. And then we go begging them for jobs because the money we gave to them, we didn't use to create an infrastructure for ourselves with it. We have them create an infrastructure, and that's why they're growing and we're dying. People find that hard to understand. It's because you're stupid. Everybody else out here tell me I shouldn't be so mean and I should watch what I say and try to sugarcoat. We don't have time to sugarcoat things. These people are genociding us off of the money we get them to do it with. That's stupidity. I don't care what no one says.
But that's the reality of believing. It's very dangerous to believe in something that you know nothing about.
Right. Well, you know, Stevie Wonder said, when you believe in things
It's
that you don't
superstition.
understand, it's called superstition.
And religion.
Right. Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's do this, brother.
Here's the deal. If you look up superstition and religion in the dictionary, they both have the same definement. They're both defined with the same unique characteristics of being descriptive of them both. In other words, religion is superstition and superstition is religion. It is the belief into something that you don't understand that cause pain, sorrow, tears, and bloodshed. Superstition and religion causes both of those.
Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to go to the phone line because we have some callers that are just waiting to ask questions, okay? So let's take a quick break. So just stand by, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Let me give you a perfect example. When you sit up and believe in a Savior, there's some dead white man on the cross. Do you see what happened for believing in that? You end up with nothing but decadence. No jobs. Everybody head screwed up. People using things that's not needed. More implementation of material devices and electronics that's unnecessary. And at the same time, everybody is buying these electronic devices. The universe is tearing down the sustainment of them. So you're still describing to a white man world that the universe is constantly destroying around you and you can't see it because the only thing you see is the growth of materialism that you want. So you don't see the destruction of all that. As long as you can attain that little stupid iPhone, you don't watch the news and see the hurricanes destroying and creating drought and all this flooding and stuff that's coming on the earth. That thing is not going to be no good to you once you wading your ass around in 4 feet of water. And they're going to become of no use to people because the universe is smart enough to see these are devices of separatism and dissension. And the universe can see what they're up to. And all you people that are blind to what's going down and you don't see it, you're going to be the ones that suffer the most because you're putting too much reliance in materialism. Way too much. And the ones out here that's trying their best to understand the importance of returning to knowledge of self and eradicating some of this materialism. We have way too many cars. There's way too many roads. There's way too many railroad tracks. Way too many freaking golf courses. Too many football fields. Okay, we're not using the land properly. And so the birds are dying and everything that praise the sun and pay homage to it has all died. And we're stuck out here paying homage to the image of a white man on a piece of paper. And that's how come everything is dying. Because that stupid ritual right there is what caused the eradication of all the trees. Because it doesn't lead you to a spiritual connection with God. It leads you to a material connection with materialism. And materialism replaces spiritualism, and that's where the decadence gets a culture to fluctuate at.
All right. You listen to the Advocate
I should say fluctuate at and grow.
History Network show. I'm your host, Brother Michael M. Hotel. We're having a fantastic, enthralled, very educational conversation with our brother, historian, and author, Dr. Walter Williams, author of the historical origin of Christianity.